So today I'm going to be trying to work out how to change my boot button, because my boot does not open from the button, it only opens from the fob. So if I unlock it and press the button under here, it doesn't do anything, and I end up having to use the fob to open it. Now that was especially a problem just after I got it when the fob didn't work, and I ended up having to rebuild the fob and reprogram it. So what I've done is yesterday I went to a salvage car and I took off all the boot button from a car that I know definitely worked. So I'm going to have a go at changing it over and let you know the things you need to do if this is something you want to do yourself. First thing I'm going to do is make sure the keys do not go in the boot, because I've got no way of getting them out again if I accidentally shut the lid. So inside the car you've got two star shape heads there, and you've got two Phillips shape heads in there. However, if you try and undo those with the Phillips head screwdriver, you seem to get nowhere. You end up having to just lever it off. They're more like pegs than screws. I'll show you when I get them out. So that's the first step. So that's what I mean about the pegs. So you've got a screw inside, like a raw plug thing. So now it's out of the car, you can actually unscrew that, and it will unscrew. And then the refitting process, you'll fit the peg and then you'll just screw the screw in. But actually just trying to unscrew the screw to get it out in the first place does not seem to work. Not in my experience anyway, my limited experience. So the next stage is to take all this carpet off. This is nice and easy. These pegs, you just get behind them, lever them out, and then it all comes off. And they don't seem to break, unlike a lot of car clips you get. And annoyingly, I've just seen I've got one missing. I say annoying because I could have had one yesterday when I took the other boot lock off, but maybe another time. Right, so now the boot carpet's off. Next thing I'm going to do is take off these bolts. So you've got 4 of them. 1, 2, 3, and just there, nice and awkward. Also going to disconnect the wiring, which is in here. So take off that grey covering, and then it just clips apart. So I'm going to do that first, and then there's a couple of awkward clips I'll show you. So they're off now, and that was actually surprisingly easy. Nice and clean bolts, unlike the ones I was working on yesterday. So the clips of extreme awkwardness are just there. I don't know if you can see that. Hope if I was pointing in the right place, maybe. So there. And you've got one either side, and the best way I found of doing this yesterday was to try and straighten out that little bit of metal a little bit, just so there's less pressure on it, and then just yank it off with some pliers. So you want to yank it towards you. There is a hole at the end of it to allow it to come off the like nipple bolt thing, mushroom bolt, that's what I want to call it. So hopefully it won't be too much problem getting it back on. That's a bit I'm worried about. Getting it off isn't too bad. Just got to be careful you don't drop the clip and lose it down the inside of the boot, because that'll be a pain to get out again. So wish me luck with this bit. So that's what those clips look like. Put a better light. So as you can hopefully see, say at the end there, it's slightly wider just to let it get off that nipple bolt, that mushroom bolt. There we go, better view there. So you're aiming just to pull it towards you, but because of the shape of it, it's quite spring loaded, so it's nice and tight. So it's a bit of a pain, probably even more so to refit it, but we'll come to that when I get there. Right, that's both of those off. Slight change in tactic there. What I did was I held it and pulled it with some pliers, like bent pliers, at the same time as levering it with a nice big screwdriver, and that seems to do the job. be able to put force on it, but at the same time also hold it and stop it flinging off anywhere. So having done that, the next stage is to take where you disconnected the wiring before. There is a rubber bung, so you need to push that through the hole to get your wiring out, which is a bit awkward when you try and do it holding a phone. Now I'm going to have to put the phone. So once that's through, this should just pull off. I forgot to disconnect the number plate lights, so I'll do that in a moment. Just a case of pressing the lever at the back and then it slips out. So that's that lever there, just press that and it releases the number plate lights. And then it all just comes out. And you can see my lovely bit of paint that I missed when I painted the car. And then refitting should hopefully just be a reverse of that. Right, so I've got it just bolted loosely in place at the moment, just so it doesn't fall off, because I'm going to take the opportunity just to paint behind it. First of all, before I bolt it properly, I'm going to make sure those number plate lights work and that the button does actually work. I do have some wiring that I took off the other one as well, just in case it's the wiring that's at fault. I'm hoping it's just the button, so I'm going to try that now. Let's make sure the car's actually open properly. Well, that's disappointing. So it's not just the button that's at fault, so I'm going to try replacing the wiring now and see how I get on with that. Alright, so it's all back together now. It's still not working, unfortunately. So I started to do it with the fob. However, I forgot to say, so the wiring, that all just clips apart. That's really simple to do. But as I said, it didn't work. Took the opportunity to replace that little that plastic cap I was missing. I just put in a bolt, the same as what I put on the side of the car. Just had to enlarge the hole ever so slightly. So that's it, it's all back together. With the clips, the really awkward ones, they were actually surprisingly easy to put back on. It was just a case of putting them on in the corners and pushing them on, and didn't even need any tools for it. So that was good at least. It's just disappointing that having done all that, it still doesn't work. It was all just a wasted effort. But yeah, hopefully it was useful. And if it was useful, then please feel free to like and subscribe, and maybe at some point I'll do something that actually works.